Forgiveness, it's a big word, it's a big thing. Or is it? Maybe we all make too big a deal out of it. In this video, I want to set a few things straight about forgiveness. And then in the video next week in part 2, I'll introduce a 6-step forgiveness process. So, first up, forgiveness. It just means letting go. I forgive him for being 2 hours late for dinner is exactly the same as I let go of my attachment to being hurt because he's 2 hours late for dinner. It's the same thing. And if it's easier for you to consider letting go of the hurt than forgiving, well, let's change the language right now. Letting go. You do it every day, maybe even hundreds of times a week. You have to, we all have to. Life just doesn't go exactly to plan. We have to keep letting go of all the little things and the big things that don't go our way, otherwise we can't move on. We have to keep letting go of any hope that the past will change. Now, obviously smaller things are a lot easier to let go of than bigger things. When you feel hurt, forgiveness is difficult, but I assure you the bigger the issue and the more difficult it is to let go of, the more important it becomes. Mistake number 1 is the belief that forgiveness is too hard and therefore there's no point in trying. People often think that it's one of those things that only others can do, saints or monks that live in a cave. I can't do that, Simon. That's not me. Well, yes you can. Yeah, it can be hard, but it's not too hard. The strange truth is, letting go is most often far easier than holding on. Okay, second, letting go, forgiveness. It's not for anyone else's benefit. It's never for anyone else. It's not about letting someone off the hook. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Forgiveness is releasing yourself from the hook. Choosing to hold on is choosing to keep yourself attached to the very person or the very event you want to distance yourself from. You can't change the past. You can't erase what's been done, but you can release yourself from continuing to suffer from the past. I'm not letting you off the hook. I'm letting me off the hook. Mistake number 2 is the belief that forgiveness is letting someone get away with what they did and therefore it's not worth doing. Forgiving's not condoning bad behaviour. You're not excusing it. You're not pardoning someone for their wrongs. Again, forgiveness is not for or about anyone else. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for the person who's doing the forgiving. Before we get to the third mistake, I have a free guide to help you increase what I call your argument IQ. This is about increasing your understanding of how arguments are created and what's actually happening hidden away under the surface. Now, this knowledge is essential if you want to minimize and stop arguments in your relationship. Stopping arguments, just like forgiveness, it's another thing that's absolutely possible. The link is in the description below. Okay, now third, we've all heard of the concept of to forgive and forget. Well, this is completely flawed. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. It's the opposite, actually. Forgiveness means letting go and remembering. Forgiveness requires memory. It's essential you remember what happened so you can strengthen yourself and protect yourself from it happening again. Mistake number 3 is the belief that forgiveness means forgetting. I mean, the idea of forgetting, in a way, it makes forgiveness impossible. How could I possibly forget what my partner just did? Way too hard. And then if I do manage somehow, through some miracle, to forget, then I've just let my partner off the hook. They've just got away with it. And that's not okay. And then if I forget, of course, I might fall into the same hole again. Forgiving requires remembering. And fourth, forgiveness, letting go, doesn't require anything from anyone. It doesn't require an apology. It doesn't require anyone changing their behaviour or even stopping what they're doing. Now, obviously these things can be helpful and make the letting go process easier. However, it's not essential. The only thing letting go requires is you. And that's why it's possible. Mistake number 4 is the belief that forgiveness requires an action or an acknowledgement from the person you're trying to forgive. To believe that your letting go requires action from someone else, it disempowers you. It puts you in a helpless and hopeless position where forgiveness, which is you releasing yourself from the pain of the past, is now outside your control. In fact, this would mean that your ability to release yourself from the pain and suffering would be reliant on the very person that helped create the pain and the suffering. Simon, I can't forgive them unless they apologise. I hear this a lot. This is choosing to remain a victim and be stuck in the past. Remember, your forgiveness of another, it's not about them. It's about you, and it's all up to you. So, what events from the past would you like to release yourself from? Who and what then do you need to forgive? What do you want to let go of? Have a think about this and tune into the video next week for a 6-step process that'll help you remove yourself off the hook, release yourself from continuing to feel the hurt, and letting go of all hope of a different past. In the meantime, if you want to lean into this further, I've created another video on letting go that approaches this from a completely different angle. The link will appear on the end screen. And if you're still here watching, please like the video and share the video out to those you love. And of huge importance, be kind to yourself out there, and we'll see you next week.